Broadcasting from Hollywood, it's the official On Air with Brandon J podcast.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon. Welcome to On Air with Brandon J. I'm joined by a special guest today, Billboard Pop, dance, recording artist, songwriter Ashley Paul. Ashley, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's great to have you on the show. You know, I've heard a lot of things from you from Holly Davidson, and it's great to connect.
Thank you.
And you've got a unique story. So let's dabble into some of your roots, beginning. Like, how did you embark on this wonderful world of dance music?
Well, it's kind of funny. Like if you want me to go all the way back, when I was like 10 years old, I was in a touring show on the Southeast, and I was the only 10-year-old doing disco. Um, they had me dressed up in a red satin tube top and red satin disco pants. And that was when I fell in love with Donna Summer, Olivia Newton-John, Diana Ross. Those were some of my inspirations. And I hope to follow that. However, at that time, there weren't a lot of vehicles for a
Right.
10-year-old. So I went into cabaret and I did a lot of off Broadway and a lot of New York theater until one day someone discovered me. And when I was in my late teens, and we went into the studio and we did When Boys Cry, which was, dance, pop, freestyle, and it kind of just went to Billboard, and that was that. So it was an amazing
Wow.
experience. Yeah.
Wow, you've been able to travel the world. What would you say has influenced your sound in terms of culture? Like when you've traveled, have any of the countries you've gone into influenced the sound? Because I know, for example, like Timbaland, like he's traveled a lot to the Middle East,
Yeah.
and if you listen to the music with like Nelly Furtado, and I'm going a little bit back
Yeah.
with Carrie Hilson, Justin Timberlake, you can hear some of those tones influenced in the music.
It's interesting because I feel like the UK has influenced me a lot
Yes.
in terms of the sound, the EDM sound, which is, one function of dance music, and then traveling and performing in South America as well
Yes.
has influenced me a lot because there's a lot of passion. Not that there isn't passion everywhere, but it's a special kind of flavor, in Latin America. And I think that's been a great influence in my music as well.
That's awesome. And you got to work with someone that's just an amazing writer and producer, Mr. Damon Sharpe. What was it like getting connected with Mr. Damon Sharpe?
He's a genius. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
When I first found out I had the opportunity to work with him, I was so excited. And I just, I usually take my lyric book and all
Yeah.
these ideas, and I just wanted a clean slate because I wanted to go in and just, let it be totally organic. And that's what it was. He's so amazing, and he's a great teacher, and I have so much respect for him as a writer and a producer. And so when we went in to write Fill Your Fire, it was like we both had different ideas, and I would say a few lines and he would say a few lines, and then he would play part of the dance track and I would think of a melody and he would think of a melody. We were very in sync with each other. And I think that's how we created Fill Your Fire, it was just sort of out of the air. We created this story about the message being never let the moment pass. That was
Feel Your Fire did very well in Germany, France, and the UK, might I add.
Thank
So
you. Thank you very
congratulations on the
much.
success of Feel Your
Thank
Fire.
you.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
exciting.
And your new single, Love Me Light Me Up. It always throws me off a little bit. I'm like, love me up, light me up, love
I know.
light me up. What inspired the title of Love Light Me
Oh
Up?
wow, that's such an interesting story. Well, I was trying to think of, some new influences to
Uh-huh.
write a new track. And I was thinking of big band, like
Yeah.
Elvis Costello and Tom Jones and people like that. And then I was like, but I wanted to combine it with something current. So we kind of
Absolutely.
mix it together. And that's where I came up with this idea of Big Band House, which is kind of like the Ashley Paul influence of this track. And I'm going back in the studio in a couple weeks, write a new Big Band House song, but I'm like crazy.
Very
Yeah.
cool. And would you say that in terms of big band music and dance music, like what do you enjoy the most? because certain artists like they have their own niche and they like to sit in that area. Like Bruno, for example, Bruno Mars
Yeah.
has his own kind of niche and he sticks in that niche. Are you one of those artists that likes to dabble and be more
I
versatile
mean,
in terms of your sound?
I would have to say that I definitely like to be versatile. I mean, I
Yeah.
when I go in to write a song, I don't know how it's going to come out. And there's
Right.
so many different genres in dance, you know.
Yeah, there are.
There's freestyle,
Absolutely.
EDM, pop, new disco, old 70s disco, and I just don't know how it's going to come out. And I like to keep things fresh just for me as an
Yeah.
artist. I like to keep writing with new people. I like to keep, trying new styles and, singing in different octaves. Some of my tracks are kind of low vocally, and then some are high, and then some go really low and really high. Like Love Light Me Up goes all the way from really low register to some very high soprano notes.
Wow.
So it's nice to keep it different, for me, for
Yeah,
me.
for sure.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. I mean that's it. I mean, versatility is everything. And we're speaking about dance, and a lot of people out there don't know. Like when you're trying to, you know, show up on the Billboard dance charts, you have to have multiple versions of the song
Right.
that
You do.
resonate with the DJ.
You do.
So it's very interesting. It's like, okay, you think you've got this amazing song, which you do, but it's like, okay, now in order to compete with all of the Calvin Harris and your
It's true.
Tiesto and your Martin Garrix and all these guys, David Guetta, you have to have different versions that fit those different areas, like the UK, France, Ibiza, and the list goes
That's
on.
true, and that's where these amazing remixers come in. I mean,
Yes,
I have been very blessed to work with some incredible remixers from Until Dawn in the UK to Jose Montanez in South America. He's in
for
Mexico
sure.
City. I mean, Sean Finn in Germany. I mean, they all add their own flavor, and it's unique how you put your song in their hands and
Right.
they do their own version of it. It's really special.
That's awesome. And what advice, Ashley, do you have for those artists, those songwriters aspiring to make a career in music?
Just never give up, because the minute you do, you can't do it anymore. That's just fact. Keep writing, keep performing. Never let anybody tell you to stop, because you know what you have in your heart, you know? And I think that that's the most important thing, because art is in the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely.
And there's always going to be somebody that loves you and somebody that doesn't love you so much. But you just,
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. I
yeah,
mean, you can't please
right.
everybody.
You
And
cannot.
and I've heard a lot of people like Cat Williams, who's hilarious. And he's like, I need my haters. He needs his haters, and I think that it it it
Excuse
it
me.
creates this ability inside of us, this drive to say, you know what, I'm going to push past. I'm going to prove all of you guys wrong. And you set out on this quest, and you're doing it because you love it, you're passionate, but you also desire to prove a point
Right. I mean,
to all the naysayers.
well, there's always a little element of that, but there's
Yes,
this incredible drive that you just have, and you're born with it, and you
yes,
can't explain it to somebody. I don't judge somebody who doesn't have it, but I can't explain it to them either. You know what I mean?
there it is. Ashley, what is next for Ashley Paul in 2023?
Well, I have a host of concerts coming up. Opening for Natalie Imbruglia at Lee Stock in the UK.
Oh, wow,
May, thank you.
congratulations.
May 27th. And then I'm doing some freestyle concerts opening for Shannon and Karina in New York and in Florida, in a few places there. Oh, and then Mexico City in September. I'm doing 2 concerts in Mexico City. And I have another song after Love Light Me Up that I just went in the studio with, and Damon Sharpe and I wrote also, called Ribbons. And
Oh, wow.
it's oh, I love this song. It's, yeah. I get so excited about every song that I write. Like, if you ask me what's my favorite song, it's always the song I just wrote.
But that's so important, and I say that because it shows that you truly are passionate about what you do. Like a lot of people are just like, I want to be this, I want to be that, but they're not passionate about it. And I think that it shows when they're conducting an interview and they're talking about what inspires them and what drives them to become who they are and what they're doing. And you can just tell the ones that desire to do it and the ones that just like, I want it handed to me on a silver platter per se.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not been handed. You know, it's
No,
hard work. But
no, touche on that. Ashley, where can we follow you on social media?
oh, thank you. Official Ashley Paul on Instagram and Ashley Paul Musician page on Facebook.
Ashley, we're going to play your song Love Light Me Up
Thank
right
you.
after this
Oh,
interview.
awesome.
Guys, make sure you go and stream it on all platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon. The list goes on. Ashley Paul, thank you so much for being a special guest
Thank you.
on today's podcast. Congratulations on the performances on the way in Mexico City and the UK with Natalie. The list goes on.
Thank you.
Billboard dance recording artist, songwriter Ashley Paul. I'm Brandon. We'll see you next time here on Air with Brandon J. Goodbye for now.